What if everything you've been taught about love is fundamentally backwards? What if the very act of trying to make someone fall in love with you is precisely what repels them? Today, we're rediving deep into Carl Jung's revolutionary understanding of authentic attraction, exploring two hidden psychological mechanisms that create genuine, lasting connection. Most people approach love like a transaction. They present their best self, highlight their achievements, and carefully curate their personality to match what they think others want. But Jung discovered something profound. True love isn't attracted to your polished exterior. It's magnetically drawn to something far more mysterious and powerful. The Swiss psychiatrist spent decades studying the human psyche, and his insights reveal why some people effortlessly draw others into their orbit, while others struggle despite their best efforts. The answer lies not in what you do, but in who you become when you stop trying to become someone else. Before we explore these two hidden reasons, we need to understand Jung's revolutionary map of human consciousness. Unlike Freud, who focused primarily on repressed desires, Jung recognized that we contain multitudes conscious and unconscious elements that create the totality of our being. At the surface level, we have the persona, the mask we wear in social situations. This is the carefully constructed self we present to the world, complete with acceptable traits, learned behaviors, and socially approved responses. Most people spend their entire lives perfecting this persona, believing it will make them more lovable. But beneath this surface lies something far more compelling: the authentic self, complete with shadow elements we've rejected, anima and animus qualities we've suppressed, and the profound depths of our individual unconscious. Jung discovered that genuine attraction operates on these deeper levels, not the superficial persona we so carefully maintain. This understanding transforms everything about how we approach relationships. Instead of asking, "How can I make myself more attractive?" we begin asking, "How can I become more authentically myself?" The difference is revolutionary. The first hidden reason people fall in love with you has nothing to do with your accomplishments, appearance, or social status. It's your capacity for psychological wholeness, the integration of all aspects of your personality, including the parts you've learned to hide. Most people live fragmented lives. They present only their acceptable qualities while desperately concealing their vulnerabilities, fears, and imperfections. This creates what Jung called a split, a disconnection between who they truly are and who they pretend to be. Others unconsciously sense this incongruence, creating a subtle but persistent barrier to genuine intimacy. When you encounter someone who has done the psychological work of integration, something profound happens. They emanate a quality of completeness that is magnetically attractive. They don't need to hide parts of themselves because they've learned to embrace their totality. This doesn't mean they're perfect, quite the opposite. They're courageously imperfect, and this authenticity creates space for real connection. Jung's concept of the shadow, the repressed, denied, or undeveloped aspects of personality, is crucial here. Most people exhaust enormous energy maintaining the illusion that they don't possess certain qualities. They might insist they're never angry, never jealous, never selfish. But this denial creates internal tension that others unconsciously perceive. Someone who has engaged with their shadow doesn't claim to be without flaws. Instead, they've developed a conscious relationship with their entire psychological landscape. They can acknowledge their capacity for anger without being consumed by it. They can recognize their jealous moments without being defined by them. This integration creates a quality of presence that is deeply attractive. Consider how you feel around someone who admits their mistakes openly, who can laugh at their own contradictions, who doesn't need to maintain a perfect image. There's something profoundly relaxing about their presence. You don't have to manage their emotions or protect their ego. You can simply be yourself, knowing they can handle the full spectrum of human experience. This psychological wholeness creates what we might call authenticity magnetism. When you're not hiding from yourself, others feel safe to stop hiding around you. When you've made peace with your imperfections, others feel permission to be imperfect too. This mutual authenticity creates the foundation for genuine love. The paradox is striking. The more you accept your unlovable parts, the more lovable you become. The more you embrace your flaws, the more others are drawn to your humanity. This isn't about flaunting your weaknesses or using vulnerability as a manipulation tactic. It's about genuine self-acceptance that creates space for others to be real. Jung observed that we fall in love not with someone's perfection, but with their particular way of being human. When you've done the work of becoming fully human yourself, embracing both light and shadow, strength and vulnerability, you become irresistibly attractive to others seeking authentic connection. The second hidden reason people fall in love with you is even more profound. Your commitment to individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are beneath all social conditioning and external expectations. Most people live their entire lives trying to be who they think they should be. They chase careers their parents approve of, adopt values their culture expects, and mold their personality to fit social norms. This creates what Jung called mass mind, a collective unconsciousness where individual authenticity is sacrificed for social acceptance. But some rare individuals dare to embark on the journey of individuation. They begin asking uncomfortable questions. Who am I beneath all these roles? What do I truly value? What is my unique contribution to the world? This process requires tremendous courage because it often means disappointing others and standing alone with your truth. When you encounter someone genuinely committed to their own becoming, something remarkable happens. They possess a quality of self-direction that is magnetically attractive. They're not looking for you to complete them or validate their worth. They're not trying to escape themselves through relationship. Instead, they're sharing their journey of self-discovery with you. This creates a completely different dynamic in relationships. Instead of two incomplete people trying to make a whole, you have two individuals choosing to walk parallel paths of growth. The love that emerges from this foundation is not born of need or desperation, but of genuine appreciation for another's unique essence. People are unconsciously drawn to those who have claimed their own authority. There's something deeply attractive about someone who knows their own mind, who has examined their beliefs rather than simply inheriting them, who has chosen their values through conscious reflection rather than social pressure. Jung understood that individuation requires what we might call the courage to be disliked. When you're committed to authenticity, you inevitably disappoint people who want you to remain who you were. You might outgrow relationships that were built on your previous self. You might choose paths that others find incomprehensible. This courage is profoundly attractive because it signals emotional maturity and self-respect. When someone knows they can survive disapproval and still remain true to themselves, they bring a quality of strength to relationships that is deeply reassuring. They won't abandon their truth to keep the peace or sacrifice their growth for temporary harmony. This doesn't mean being callous or unnecessarily confrontational. It means having the inner strength to maintain your authenticity even when it's inconvenient for others. People sense this strength and are drawn to it, even if they can't consciously articulate why. Psychologist Murray Bowen's concept of differentiation aligns perfectly with Jung's individuation process. Highly differentiated individuals can maintain their sense of self while remaining emotionally connected to others. They don't need to cut off from relationships to maintain their identity, nor do they lose themselves in emotional fusion. This capacity for differentiation is extraordinarily attractive because it promises the possibility of intimacy without engulfment. You can be close to someone who maintains their selfhood, knowing they choose to be with you rather than need to be with you. This creates the conditions for mature love rather than dependent attachment. Understanding these two hidden reasons is only the beginning. The real work lies in integration, the ongoing process of becoming whole and authentic. This isn't a destination, but a lifelong journey of self-discovery and conscious development. Begin by identifying the qualities you most strongly reject in others. These external irritations often point to disowned aspects of your own psyche. If you're constantly annoyed by people who are too emotional, examine your own relationship with feeling. If you judge others for being selfish, explore your own suppressed needs and desires. The goal isn't to become these rejected qualities, but to develop a conscious relationship with them. Acknowledge their presence in your psyche without being controlled by them. This integration creates the psychological wholeness that others find so attractive. Individuation requires regular check-ins with your authentic self. Ask yourself, what do I truly think about this? What do I actually want? What are my real values? Notice when you're performing rather than being, when you're trying to impress rather than express. This doesn't mean being brutally honest in every moment. That would be tactless and cruel. It means developing an internal compass that guides your choices toward authenticity rather than approval-seeking. Others unconsciously sense when you're operating from this inner truth and are drawn to its magnetic quality. Both psychological wholeness and individuation require the courage to evolve. This means being willing to outgrow previous versions of yourself, to disappoint people who want you to remain unchanged, to choose growth over comfort. This evolutionary courage is deeply attractive because it suggests you not a finished product, but a dynamic being committed to ongoing development. In relationship, this means you'll continue growing together rather than stagnating in familiar patterns. Jung's insights reveal a profound paradox. The more attached you are to being loved, the less lovable you become. The more desperate you are for connection, the more you repel genuine intimacy. This isn't because love is cruel or arbitrary, but because authentic love is drawn to wholeness rather than neediness. When you've done the work of becoming psychologically whole and individually authentic, you develop what we might call attractive detachment. You're available for love without being desperate for it. You can offer yourself fully without losing yourself completely. This creates a magnetic quality that draws others toward you. This detachment isn't cold or indifferent. It's the warm presence of someone who has found their center and can share it without depleting it. You become someone who enhances others' lives rather than completing them, who adds value rather than extracting it. Perhaps most importantly, this inner work gives you the freedom to choose love consciously rather than falling into it unconsciously. You can recognize when attraction is based on projection or fantasy versus genuine appreciation. You can distinguish between healthy love and codependent attachment. This discernment is attractive to others who are also seeking authentic connection. You begin attracting people who appreciate your wholeness rather than your wounds, who are drawn to your strength rather than your neediness. Understanding these concepts intellectually is different from embodying them practically. Here are ways to integrate these insights into your daily life and relationships. Begin each day with a moment of self-inquiry. Who am I today beneath all roles and expectations? Notice when you're performing versus being. Practice expressing your authentic thoughts and feelings in low-stakes situations before attempting it in important relationships. Develop what Jung called active imagination, a practice of dialoguing with different aspects of your psyche. This can help you integrate shadow elements and develop relationship with your full self. Examine your current relationships through the lens of these principles. Are you trying to be who you think others want you to be? Are you attracted to people's authentic selves or their personas? Are you seeking completion through others or sharing your completeness? This doesn't mean ending relationships that don't immediately meet these criteria, but rather beginning to show up more authentically within them. Often, when you change how you relate, others respond by becoming more real themselves. One of the most important practices is developing comfort with solitude. Jung believed that those who can't bear to be alone will inevitably struggle with authentic relationship. In silence and solitude, you encounter your true self beneath all the social roles and expectations. Regular periods of solitude allow you to process experiences, integrate insights, and maintain connection with your authentic self. This inner relationship becomes the foundation for all external relationships. As you embody these principles, something remarkable happens. Your commitment to wholeness and authenticity creates a field of permission around you. Others unconsciously sense that they can be real in your presence, that they don't need to maintain their masks or manage your emotions. When you've made peace with your own shadow, others feel safe to acknowledge theirs. When you've embraced your imperfections, others feel permission to be imperfect too. This creates a ripple effect of authenticity that transforms every relationship you enter. You become what Jung called a wounded healer, someone who has done their own psychological work and can therefore hold space for others' growth. This isn't about fixing or changing others, but about creating conditions where they can discover their own authenticity. Your integrated presence becomes a kind of magnetic field that draws others toward their own wholeness. People are naturally attracted to environments where they can be fully themselves, where their complexity is welcomed rather than feared. This doesn't mean you become a therapist for everyone around you. Rather, your commitment to your own growth creates space for others to grow as well. You model what it looks like to be fully human, and this gives others permission to explore their own humanity. Jung's insights reveal that the love we truly seek is not the love that idealizes us or completes us, but the love that sees us, fully, completely, without illusion. This kind of love is only possible when we learn to see ourselves with the same depth and compassion. The two hidden reasons people fall in love with you, psychological wholeness and authentic individuation, are not techniques to master, but ways of being to embody. They represent a fundamental shift from asking, "How can I be loved?" to asking, "How can I become someone capable of true love?" This journey requires courage, patience, and extraordinary self-compassion. It means facing aspects of yourself you've spent years avoiding, embracing qualities you've rejected, and choosing authenticity over approval. But the reward is profound. The capacity for genuine love and the magnetic presence that draws others toward their own authenticity. Remember, you are not trying to become someone else's idea of perfect. You are becoming precisely who you are beneath all the conditioning and expectations. This is the most attractive thing you can be, not because it guarantees love, but because it guarantees that any love you receive will be genuine, seeing you for who you truly are. The world needs your authentic self, not another polished performance. Your willingness to be real in a world of facades, to be whole in a culture of fragmentation, to be yourself in a society of conformity. This is the gift you bring to every relationship. The magnetic quality that draws others toward their own truth. In the end, Jung's wisdom teaches us that love is not something we achieve through strategy or manipulation, but something we become capable of through the courage to be authentically, completely, courageously ourselves. This is the deepest love of all, not being loved despite our flaws, but being loved because of our willingness to be fully, imperfectly human. The journey begins with a single step, the decision to stop hiding from yourself and start the lifelong process of becoming who you truly are. In this becoming, you discover not only your own capacity for love, but your irresistible attraction to others, who are brave enough to undertake the same journey.